To vaccinate or not to vaccinate? This is the question. It's a question that echoes in the quiet hours of the night for expectant parents. It surfaces in conversations at mothers' groups and across dinner tables. For many, the answer is a straightforward yes, a routine part of modern healthcare. For a growing number, however, it is a source of deep anxiety and intense debate. This single decision feels monumental. It is weighed down by a responsibility to protect a child from all possible harm. The decision is rarely made in a vacuum. It is influenced by a barrage of information from doctors, government campaigns, friends, family, and the internet. One click can lead to a scientific paper, the next to a heart-wrenching personal story. To understand the current debate, we must first look back. Smallpox was the terror of its time, a brutal killer that left survivors scarred. A country doctor named Edward Jenner made a crucial observation. He noticed that milkmaids who contracted cowpox seemed immune to smallpox. In 1796, he inoculated a young boy with material from a cowpox sore, then later exposed him to smallpox. The boy remained healthy. The vaccine was born. The idea spread and unleashed one of the greatest advances in public health. Scientists like Louis Pasteur developed vaccines for rabies and other diseases, saving countless lives. For the first time, humanity had a proactive tool against infectious diseases, not just treatments. The 20th century saw a golden age of vaccine development. Polio was brought to its knees by Salk and Sabin vaccines. Iron lung wards emptied. The journey from Jenner's single inoculation to today's comprehensive childhood schedule is a story of expanding protection. In the mid-20th century, a child might have received just a handful of shots, DTP and polio among them. Diphtheria, tetanus, pertussis, whooping cough, polio. In the 1960s, the schedule was relatively simple. Today, children may receive protection against a dozen or more diseases before school. Hib reduced meningitis. Hepatitis B protects against chronic liver disease and later cancer. Pneumococcal and rotavirus vaccines cut pneumonia, meningitis, and severe diarrhea. More recently, HPV and meningococcal vaccines were added for adolescents. Each new vaccine is another disease we can prevent, and another question for parents. From the perspective of mainstream medicine, the case for vaccination is built on decades of evidence. Vaccines prevent dangerous diseases. Before the measles vaccine, nearly every child got measles. Hospitalizations, pneumonia, encephalitis, and deaths were common. Today, measles is rare in vaccinated populations. Vaccines protect not only individuals but the community, a principle called herd immunity. Infants too young and people with compromised immune systems rely on others' immunity. Vaccines undergo multi-stage testing, lab research, phase 1 to phase 3 clinical trials. After approval, safety is continuously monitored through adverse event tracking. No medical intervention is risk-free, but the risks of disease far outweigh the very small risks from vaccines. High vaccination rates made it hard for disease to spread. They helped increase life expectancy and reduce childhood deaths. For these reasons, the scientific and medical communities overwhelmingly support immunization. Each vaccine represents another disease we can prevent. While the medical establishment presents a unified front, many parents harbor genuine concerns that lead them to question or delay vaccination. One common anxiety is the sheer number of vaccines administered in early childhood. The phrase, "too many too soon," captures a fear that a baby's immune system might be overloaded. Parents see multiple vaccines in a single visit and worry about cumulative effects. Information sheets list reactions from fever to extremely rare severe events. For a parent, even a 1 in a million risk can feel like a terrifying gamble. Stories and personal testimonies shared widely online are emotionally powerful and often outweigh statistical data for many parents. A deeper issue is erosion of trust, skepticism of pharmaceutical companies, and perceived conflicts of interest. The now retracted 1998 study that linked MMR to autism caused lasting damage, even after being thoroughly debunked. Once doubt is planted, reassurance is hard to fully restore. Weighing the evidence, a neutral side-by-side. Pros, public health successes. Disease rates plummeted, saving millions of lives and preventing disability. Concerns, individual risk. One person could be harmed even if population benefits exist. Pointing to vaccine injury compensation programs and mistrust of institutions. Herd immunity protects the vulnerable. Others emphasize personal liberty and bodily integrity. Both perspectives present factual arguments that influence how families make personal health decisions. This side-by-side view is intended to inform, not to persuade. More than medicine, the debate sits at a cultural and ethical crossroads. It raises questions about cultural values, ethics, and political ideology. Family beliefs, religion, politics, and identity shape how people view vaccination. For some, it is a matter of conscience or faith. At its heart lies a tension between individual liberty and the collective good. Vaccination clinics and healthy playgrounds represent the community model. The internet and social media democratized information, challenging traditional authority. This empowers questioning but also lets misinformation flourish. Is it ethical to expose an unvaccinated child to preventable disease, or to pressure a parent to accept an intervention they fear? These are not purely scientific questions. They are about who we trust and what we owe to each other. We are left at a crossroads, facing the central question: is the expanding schedule undeniable progress or reason to pause? To some, each new vaccine is a triumph. To others, it raises valid safety and autonomy concerns. Historically, vaccines have prevented suffering and saved lives. Pausing would risk a return to a more dangerous past. They represent progress: healthier lives, fewer hospitalizations, fewer deaths. Others call for pause, not to reject science, but to demand more research, transparency, and individualized care. They ask for greater transparency about long-term outcomes and respect for parental intuition. One philosophy emphasizes population-level benefits and statistics. The other emphasizes personal risk and autonomy. Finding a way to honor both perspectives, data and empathy, is the challenge. Perhaps the path forward is respectful dialogue, better data, and listening from all sides. That balance could yield a more nuanced, compassionate approach to child health. The debate over childhood vaccination is one of the most emotionally charged conversations in modern parenting. On one side stands a remarkable history of scientific achievement. On the other, legitimate questions about risk, freedom, and trust. So as the list of childhood vaccinations continues to grow, we ask, is this progress worth celebrating, or a cause for pause? To vaccinate or not to vaccinate? That is the question. What do you think? Please share respectfully in the comments. Approach conversations with empathy. Parents on all sides seek to protect their children. This video is for educational purposes only and does not provide medical advice. Please consult a healthcare professional for decisions about vaccinations. Reflect, discuss, respect. If you found this balanced overview useful, like and subscribe for more thoughtful explorations.